This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined by Coach Daley Perales over Zoom. You just been on holiday, I'm right in saying, Daley. How was that?
Yeah. Very nice. Just quick recharging the batteries, because I know very busy. So yeah.
Where was it? Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal, yeah.
Only like 3, 4 days, not too long.
Not too long, just quick sun and back.
Okay, fair enough. Nice to get out of the country once in a while. For yourself, though, I know a short time to say, so we'll just head straight into it. At
Yeah.
the end of this month or the end of the next month, by the time this comes out, we'll be heading over to Dublin for Winterson Nunes to fight King Kenny. How's Kenny doing in training camp?
Kenny's very good. He's a student of the game. He's working hard, always willing to learn and improve, to become better.
Is Winterson Nunes his toughest test so far in his career?
I don't think so, but but fan base wise, sorry, fan base wise, I think there's a lot of attention around it because of Winderson's fan base. So it's a bigger magnitude of a fight.
Right, okay, that's quite a good way of putting it. I guess it's more eyes watching. But do you think,
Yeah.
I guess to take it back, I'm trying to compare opponents. So is Ashley Raksu, would you rank him above Winterson Nunes? Where would you rank them to? Who's better at those two fighters?
Um, I would say, yeah, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say because Nunes. I haven't seen much of Nunes, and the level opponents he fought. Popo Freitas, who was a former world champion, but it was he was old and it's an exhibition. There was no winners. Um, and then so you can only really judge him off that last one. And that guy wasn't really up to the task. That guy he was fighting. Um, I personally think that he got given that type of opponent, or even though it was drawn out. I mean, that type of opponent is there for Winderson to win. That type of opponent.
Yeah, I guess the bout was favored in Winterson's favour. Just moving on then, 20 other fighters. Deji, introduced Sol Pappy 2 days ago, and he was very keen on that matchup. What are your thoughts on the Deji versus Sol Pappy at 170? Or was that weight
Well,
not to your liking?
I think everyone's keen on that fight because it's Deji and he brings a lot of attention and eyes to him. I mean, like Deji ain't one to be like all over the media, being out and about, socializing with this person and that person. He's a very reserved person. So one minute he's like locked away, then the next minute he's got thousands, a whole arena screaming his name. So I think it's a attractive fight for anyone. That Deji has that kind of pulling power, and obviously Salt Pappy lost, so I guess they're probably looking for, that fight that will bring Salt Pappy the attention straight back on Salt Pappy again after that loss.
But would that fight be at 170 or is that a bit heavy for Deji?
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I mean, I'm sure if you talk to Deji's gonna go show me the numbers.
As he rightly should do, as any fighter rightly should do. But as the coach, obviously you're the one going to hold him back sometimes and say no, we'll do this fight, or you'll tell him how to be a center fighter. As a coach, would you be comfortable being a 170, or do you think Denny's better off being like the one
I,
the
I,
160
I
weight
think he
class?
can be a bit lower than 170.
Yeah.
I think he can go 160, 165.
Yeah, I agree.
But but again, it's influence of boxing. So the big names, a lot of them are heavier. So it's about trying to get the right balance for his next few fights of what we want to do because everyone always like they want to see Deji all ripped up and cut. That's one of the main things people always talk about. But also they got to understand that Deji is fighting in a weight division that he wouldn't be naturally at. So you can't have it all. You can't be ripped up and then expect him to be a certain way. Even like against Swarms, a part of the reason why he slacked off in the last round is because he's at a weight that he shouldn't be at. If he conditions his body to be at a lower weight or more of his natural weight, and then his conditioning will be much better for fights as well.
Okay, that's fair enough. Before I let you go, I was thinking run your brain for a few fights coming up. Jarvis versus Gibb. How does that one play out, Daley?
Um, I think I don't know. Maybe I like what Jarvis was doing. He's more. I reckon he's more technical, Jarvis.
Really?
I, yeah, I reckon he's more technical than Gibb, but Gibb is more rounded and can, if he closes the gap, he can knock you out. But I think Jarvis has probably got more technical ability.
But then do you think the experience of Gibb will kind of be the main outcome
But
of why
that's what I'm
Gibb will
saying.
be
Yeah.
favoured?
So that's why I said Gibbs more rounded
Mm.
because he's got more experience.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess
Whereas
it's a fair
Jarvis
prediction.
hasn't got that experience, so he can be technical all he want, but can he keep Gibb away from him?
Do you think that'll go the full distance?
Hmm. It's very hard, man. We're not talking about like Lomachenko versus Haney here. We're talking about two guys that are not, in my world, they're not experienced. In their world, Gibb is experienced over Jarvis, but then you're asking a professional coach for opinions on these influencers that in my world, they're still novices to me. So it's very hard to pick winners sometimes coming from me. You know what I mean? So, but I'll go with Gibb just because of the experience.
Right, okay. Devin Haney, Lomachenko tonight, 4 a.m. How does that go down?
I'm not confident in saying it, but I'm going with my gut, my heart for this one. Normally, I just base it on weighing up the two, abilities, what they're good at, what they're not so good at. But this time I'm going with my heart and saying Lomachenko.
Okay. Why did Devin push Lomachenko at the weigh-in there?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get more uh, height for the fight, um, or maybe he's a bit nervous. The nerves are getting to him. Because let's be honest, this is going to be the biggest name and the more high level fighter this is going to be. Haney hasn't boxed someone like this.
Well, no one ever boxes anyone like Lomachenko. It's a once in a lifetime sort of fight and fighter.
Exactly. I just think that Lomachenko. The reason why I'm going with my heart because my heart's telling me Lomachenko is a two-time Olympic gold medalist. He's had over 400 fights. I think he's lost about 3 times, or 4 times over those over 400 fights. He's a multiple world champion as a professional. The only thing missing is to be undisputed and have all the belts. And time is running out for Loma. This is his destiny, this tonight. He won't get another chance after this, whereas I feel Haney is still young. Even if he loses all the belts, he's still going to have a massive opportunity to come back and be a world champion or undisputed world champion again because he's got time on his side. Loma hasn't. So I think some things are destined in boxing, and some reason my gut is telling me this is Lomachenko's destiny to finish his career as the last piece of the puzzle missing and be undisputed champion.
That would be the cherry on the cake. Just two more fights ready to go tonight. It's Chantal Cameron versus Katie Taylor in Ireland. Conor McGregor's there. A little bit of hype there. How does that go down?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hard fight for Katie Taylor. I've seen over the last few fights that she started to fade a little bit, meaning it's not that she ain't great anymore. It's just like you can't go on forever in boxing, and I think it's shown that over the last few fights. So you could see a more fresher Chantel Cameron do some damage, but based on her bringing big time boxing back to Ireland, with those Irish fans all behind her, I think I make Katie Taylor the slight favourite, and she'll pull it out the bag on points.
I've noticed in Kayla's fights as well, she kind of always steps up when it's the right opponent, when there's a risk of her losing. You can see kind of the differences in performances when she fights like a big time name or kind of some mandatory defense. Obviously, she had quite a few mandatories since she's a champion, and the crowd behind her as well. That's the first time I've asked you about professional boxing in quite a long time as well, Daley. One last fight to top it off, KSI Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a really,
KSI.
really, really good fight. Definitely paid for you. They're looking for September, I believe, or I've heard. What
Oh
happened
yeah,
there?
well, then probably Deji will be on that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do Logan. Well, my theory is they got Logan, Gideon, KSI on that card. So I guess Deji as well would put quite a nice icing on the
I
cake.
will tell you this though. There's one fight I personally want for Deji, and that's Wasabi. Because just for the simple fact that Deji only had 2 weeks of training, actual training with me before that fight when he changed camps. And we already saw an improvement in Deji in that fight. The only thing what was missing was his output of punches, and you know, he was a bit lost when he came to me mentally as well. So I had to deal with that as well. But I think the way he is now mentally and his understanding of the sport and how much experience he's getting now, I would want to make that one right.
Hmm.
And
I think Deji Wasabi deserves its own card on its own as the main event rather than on an undercard.
yeah, true. But if it's on a Tommy Fury KSI undercard as the co-main, then I think that's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But who wins KSI Tommy though? Daily.
Hey, where you asking me that? You know why? Because
Because this is why
Deji's
Daily.
coach
Wait.
and
This is why
Deji's
you
coach
hate
is
it.
his brother.
Because all your professional boxing mates are gonna slag you off if you put KSI.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I'm not worried to say. It's just like people ask me questions and send me DMs all the time about KSI. I always try to avoid it because it's Deji's brother. But I'll give you an honest opinion. I KSI has improved a lot immensely. Um, but I just feel KSI is more suited to Tommy Fury than Jake Paul was. And I'm not saying Jake Paul would beat KSI because that's a totally different fight. What I'm saying is I think KSI's style will suit Tommy Fury a bit more.
Hmm.
Meaning give Tommy Fury the advantage, obviously.
Is that because of his awkwardness?
I just think there's a few things that need tightening up, and I'm sure they will, because he's improving all the time. But as I said, you know, Tommy Fury, and bear in mind as well, I've always said this, I don't even rate Tommy Fury. I don't rate him in that way, as in he's going to become a world champion as a professional boxer. I don't think he'll unless they hand him the title and give him someone rubbish at that time. I don't think he'll become a world champion. But I just like I said with Jake Paul, I think he's got enough experience from doing boxing as a kid to an understanding of the game to beat KSI and Jake Paul, which he already did with Jake Paul. I just think his fundamentals, like the Jake Paul fight, would be the difference. Just knowing his way around the ring, knowing how to set up his shots properly, know how to use a jab, the simple, effective things in boxing that people fail to always drill because they want to run before they've walked.
So you're picking Tommy or JJ? I didn't quite get there.
Tommy.
Oh, you're picking Tommy. Okay.
Yeah. Tommy. Yeah, just based on the experience of the fundamentals. They've been there since a kid with Tommy Fury, and even though if he proves me wrong and becomes a world champion as a professional boxer, then I'll hold my hands up. But I don't think he's quite there to be talked about being a world champion as a professional boxer. But in this influencer scene, I don't think anyone can beat Tommy Fury from the influencers.
Tommy Fury and Jake Paul did 800,000 pay-per-view buys. Does KSI Tommy do 1 million?
Definitely, if it's in this country,
Yeah, it will be.
which it will be, which means probably the British Boxing Board of Control will have to get involved.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they can. Can you sanction the main event for the British World of Boxing and have the undercard as PBA, or it has to be one sanctioning body for the whole card?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's an option. I'm not sure if they can do it, but I thought that would be a good option, just so because obviously from the Misfit side, they're going to want to have some big influencers on the bill on the show. But then I also think it's a good idea to have real licensed professionals on the undercard as well. So if they can do it in a way where they can mix the commissions, I think that would be a good thing for everyone, for all parties.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You get Martin Florio on there as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hard, bro. I don't like, because some things I talk about, I don't want it to come across like I'm criticizing anyone. You know what I mean?
But not
Like,
Daily, you haven't.
especially,
I know if you have and you haven't, so don't worry.
yeah, you know what I mean? But for example, there's things that I see from KSI that I know 100% if I had him, not if I had him, I just mean if he was in the gym and, there's certain things that will take his game to another level, man. And that's why I think Tommy's got the edge. And if KSI, it's Deji's brother. If KSI proves me wrong, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. But all right. Yeah, it's based on the experience. And I'm saying it's like Mayweather. What gets Floyd Mayweather through these exhibitions? What gets him through?
All the experience he's got.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's the experience. It's just like myself. I haven't boxed in 16 years, but if I was to get in the ring and spar with someone that's less experienced than me, I will know how to handle myself. So it's a bit like that. That's why I favor Tommy, because he know how to handle himself in certain situations. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. One thing is Martin Florio. Is he fighting tonight?
No, he's fighting on the 3rd of June.
3rd of June. Okay, sorry, I got the dates mixed up. So I know a few people are fighting tonight on the yacht.
That will take him to that will take him to 10-0. And then he's got another one on June the 23rd as well.
Where's he
so he's
fighting?
busy.
York
And
Hall.
then it's to Ireland. Yeah.
Okay, sounds pretty good then, Daley. The next time I see you, it'll be in Ireland. So exciting there, but thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Speak to you soon.